All right, let's dive into one of the most incredible fighter jets flying today, the Eurofighter Typhoon. This thing is an absolute beast, a machine that was literally forged by a continent to achieve one goal: total air superiority.
It's a question that keeps a lot of very smart people up at night. Because it's not just about being the fastest or having the most missiles. It's about being agile, being brilliant, and being able to completely dominate in an incredibly complex, high-speed chess match. And for a lot of air forces around the world, the answer to that question, well, it looks a whole lot like the Typhoon.
So let's just start with a number that kind of sets the stage: Mach 2. That's twice the speed of sound. But as you're about to find out, that blistering speed is really just the tip of the iceberg. This jet isn't just fast, its speed is a statement of its raw power and its strategic mission. So how in the world did this aircraft even come to be? What really makes it tick? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break it all down. We'll look at its Cold War roots, we're going to dissect its jaw-dropping capabilities, and we'll see exactly why it's still such a dominant force in the skies today. To really get the Typhoon, we have to jump in a time machine and go back to the final decades of the 20th century. This was a time when the threat of a massive air war over Europe wasn't just science fiction. It felt very, very real.
And the journey from an idea to an actual flying machine was a marathon, not a sprint. It all kicked off back in '83 with a shared goal, but it took a full 20 years of design, testing, and international politics before the Typhoon officially joined the fleet in 2003. This was no rush job. This was a long, careful process to build a fighter that would last for generations.
And that collaboration is absolutely central to the Typhoon story. This isn't just one country's project. It's a massive symbol of European engineering, where four of the continent's biggest industrial players, the UK, Germany, Italy, and Spain, threw all their expertise and resources into one pot to create something truly world-class. Okay, now for the main event. Let's pop the hood and really dig into the engineering magic that makes the Typhoon a legit superfighter. And we're going to start with its absolutely mind-bending physical abilities.
From the very first sketch on a napkin, the Typhoon was designed with one thing in mind: to win a dogfight. Because in air-to-air combat, speed is important, sure, but agility is everything. The jet that can turn tighter and change direction faster is the one that comes home. I just love this quote because it's so perfect. It captures the Typhoon's whole personality. It has the raw, knock-you-out power of a heavyweight champ, but it moves with the kind of grace and split-second precision of a ballet dancer. And that combination is what makes it so unbelievably deadly. So, how does it pull off that ballet dancer stuff? Well, the secret sauce is its canard delta wing. Now, the phrase "deliberately unstable" might sound, terrifying in an airplane, but it's actually the key to its genius. Most planes are designed to be stable, to fly straight. The Typhoon is the opposite. It's designed to want to change direction constantly. An incredibly powerful flight control computer then tames that instability, letting the pilot pull off maneuvers that would literally snap a normal aircraft in half. And to put that into perspective, think about this number: 9G. When a pilot yanks this jet into a tight, high-speed turn, they and the airframe are hit with forces 9 times the normal force of gravity. That is an absolutely bone-crushing, mind-numbing force, pushing the absolute limits of what a human being and a machine can take. Of course, all that agility is useless without a phenomenal amount of power to make it happen. And that's where the engines come into play. A fighter jet is nothing without its heart. And the Typhoon? Well, it has two incredibly powerful ones. Meet the Eurojet EJ200s. Together, they generate over 40,000 pounds of raw thrust. But here's the real kicker: they're so efficient they allow for something called supercruise. What that means is the Typhoon can fly faster than the speed of sound for long stretches without kicking in its fuel-guzzling afterburners. That is a massive tactical advantage, giving it way more range and staying power than its rivals. So, we've seen the incredible muscle, the sheer physical power of this thing. But in modern air combat, brawn is only half the equation. The Typhoon's physical gifts are matched, and you could argue even surpassed, by its incredible intelligence. The big idea here is something called sensor fusion. Okay, imagine you're trying to read 3 different books while listening to 2 different podcasts all at the same time. It's impossible, right? That's kind of what a pilot's job used to be like. But sensor fusion changes all that. It takes all the incoming data, from its own radar, from heat-seeking sensors, from other friendly jets, and blends it all together into one simple, clear picture of the battlefield.
And the result is a total game changer. For instance, an enemy jet might be hiding from the Typhoon's own radar, but if a friendly plane 100 miles away spots it, that information instantly pops up on the Typhoon pilot screen. The pilot isn't just flying a jet anymore. They're the commander of an information network with this almost godlike view of the entire airspace. All this power and intelligence means the Typhoon is a true Swiss Army knife of the sky. It's not just a dogfighter. For taking on other jets, it's got long-range missiles like the Meteor. For hitting targets on the ground, it can carry precision bombs or cruise missiles like the Storm Shadow. And it can even do reconnaissance. This thing can do it all. Which brings us right up to today. So after being in service for 2 decades, you might be wondering, why is the Typhoon still considered one of the best fighters on the planet? The answer is simple: constant evolution. The jet flying today is a whole different animal from the one that first flew in 2003. It's always getting new software, new weapons, and incredible new sensors, like the super advanced Captor-E Ace radar, which lets it track tons of targets in the air and on the ground at the same time with amazing clarity.
So when you boil it all down, the crucial point is this. The Eurofighter Typhoon isn't some relic. It's a living, breathing, evolving platform. It's a powerful symbol of European cooperation and a vital strategic asset that will be guarding the skies for many, many years to come. And that brings us to one last thought to leave you with. The Typhoon really is the peak of a certain kind of air combat, one with a human pilot right at the center of it all. But with new technologies like stealth and unmanned drones changing the game every day, it leaves us with a really fascinating question. What does the future of the fighter pilot and of air combat itself actually look like? Thanks for joining us.